Hey there, I'm making this vlog post because, well, it's July 3rd and I have a marathon to run on July 29th. And so I thought I'd make a vlog, see how I've been getting on. The short answer is terribly. Lots of pain, very little gain. In early May, very early in May, well, I suppose first of all is in mid-April, I ran the Rotterdam Marathon. I ran really well, qualified for Boston. And yeah, pride does come before the fall. And in early May, I don't know what happened. I bought some new pillows. Maybe this was a really bad idea. Bought some new pillows. And next thing I knew, yeah, I had a problem. My problem manifested itself in when you try to get out of bed and you try to sit up straight and you feel pain in your lower back. Soon I used the cantilevering method where you lie on your side and you let your legs drop out and you kind of go up that way. And it was really sore, but it was sore, but you know, manageable. I did what what I would typically do. Well, it isn't very wise, but anyway, I went to see Bruce Springsteen on a Friday. I queued all day. I stood at the concert all evening, and then that was a Friday, and then I did exactly the same thing on Sunday and on Tuesday, because, well, you know, born to run and all that. And yeah, so I did all that, and I tried ibuprofen. I live in a tiny house, but I think there were 6,000 ibuprofen in here. Because every time I go to States, I buy these things of ibuprofen. You never know when the next ibuprofen famine is coming along. I don't take them very often. But anyway, I have lots of ibuprofen because I got so tired of those European blister packs where you get 12 tablets. And every time you want to go for one, it's empty. So anyway, I blitzed the place with ibuprofen. And I might only take one or two every 3 or 4 weeks. But anyway, peace of mind. So I tried ibuprofen, didn't do anything on this pain. I tried a heat pad. Didn't do anything, and by pain I'd say it's about 8 out of 10. This is May. I couldn't find one single position that was comfortable. It was constant pain, and the pain kept moving down my lower back, my left butt cheek, slight bit down the leg, but not really. It was really the butt cheek and on my lower back. The only way I could find any relief was to lie on a stone floor downstairs on my back with my basically my legs straight up in the air and then cantilevered over, hanging over on a chair or on the sofa, and I could sleep that way for an hour or two. But effectively, I'd go to bed, I'd fall asleep at night, and I was still falling asleep okay at 10:30, something like that, and then 1:30 I'd wake up in pain, 2:30 I'd wake up in pain, 3:30 in pain, all the way through. And I was just getting my sleep scores, which I measure on these things, and this thing, were going down and down and down. I just wasn't getting any sleep. I went to see the physio, and so the physio said, and he's really good, Fergal, first of all, he thought it might be a sore psoas muscle, most appropriately named muscle. And so I thought, I just looked up at every single video. There's hundreds of videos online. Cure your psoas in 30 seconds, all that stuff. I looked at every video known to man. But it didn't quite seem to be that. I bought an app, I think by Elsevier, about, I'll show a screen grab of it, but effectively looking at all the different muscles. Then Fergal reckoned maybe I had piriformis syndrome. They're all kind of related. You've got a lot of stuff passing through your way, so I had piriformis syndrome. So again, I looked up piriformis syndrome, cured in 30 seconds. All that sort of stuff. Didn't seem to do too much. Went to the doc. Connor got some blood tests. They didn't show anything unusual, anything more so than anything, but still I was in pain. So you're still in pain, you're still not sleeping. So of course I did what I always do. I resorted to more tech. I bought a new mattress. I got a different chair. I had a very comfortable office chair, got rid of that. Got my little IKEA chair. And then I bought one of those things on Amazon, one of those sort of whoopee cushions for grown-ups. Which is a sort of foam pad to sit under your butt. And actually it gave me some relief, but still an awful lot of pain. And I stopped running for a couple of days to try and see. And then I did what I always do in those situations, indoor cycling. I was in more pain. I went out for a run the following week, thought I'll give it a go. Ended up in even more pain. You know, if you can get more from 8 to 10 in real pain. So essentially in all of May, I ran less than 8K that one time. I just cut it out. I joined a gym to use the steam bath and the sauna, tried swimming. Nothing was working. Everything wasn't going well. I was in real, it's really, and you're kind of, I'm still trying to make YouTube videos every week, and so that was kind of really dispiriting. And then what happened was my physio said, look, I think you should suggest to the doc that you go on some Valium, right? So I go to the doc, and he thought that was a good idea. It's a muscle relaxer. Diazepam was what I got. Came home, took the Valium. And it was great. It was like the pain was still there, but it was just further away. It was like it was in the distance, and I got a pretty decent night's sleep. And then the following day, I realized I'd only got one of these, one Valium on prescription. That was a bit strange. And what had happened was I had become afraid to go to sleep because I knew I was going to wake up in pain. During the day, if I was moving, I was okay, but as soon as I sat down, it was difficult. But anyway, it turned out it was mistake in my prescription. I got another 10. So I took those, and then I'm very retentive is the polite word, I think. So I took them all. I took them exactly as the doctor prescribed. I didn't mix them with alcohol, and I took the 10, and then I stopped, meaning that I had one left over. It's down here somewhere. So this is my little token one that's left. So I want to prove to myself. Oh, there's my little ball that went rolling around. So I had to prove to myself that I could wean myself off, and I did. Of course, I replaced it with alcohol, but no, I'm kidding. I didn't actually enjoy the alcohol with the pain, so I tried to cut down as best as possible. So I bought all the tech I could: the mattress, the chair, the apps, you name it. I tried. It was still in pain, and even with the diazepam. But what actually happened was then I just wanted to get an MRI. And so I was trying to see with an MRI whether I could rule something out or rule it in. But ruling out was as important as finding out what it was. And it turned out that I have a protrusion in my left lower disc, L2 and L3. Here in Ireland, I go to a place called Aphidia, and they give you an app and you can see your scans. I can't read them. But my doc did something unusual. He sent me an academic paper. And like, it was right up my street. If you're ever going to send an academic paper to someone about your body and running, and all, send it to me. And it was about this French guy who had exactly the same thing that I have. The physio said, we don't recommend surgery. His surgeon said, we don't recommend surgery. We recommend intensive physio. And after a while, it got better. And you can see the before and after MRIs in this academic paper. I'll link it in the description. So I read that, and essentially what my doctor was giving me was a bit of hope. He was going, yeah, you'll run the marathon. Yeah. I think you can run. I think, the physio was saying, look, these things take up to 6 weeks. I have zero patience. I really do not have a lot of patience, but I did everything the physio said I did. I did all the exercises. And then when I went back to the physio after the MRI and said, look, I've got this thing, he gave me, or he didn't give me, he told me to get a kettlebell. And so he said, look, get a 10 kilogram kettlebell and do exercises. Sort of effectively, I think, stretching out my back. I went to Decathlon. Of course, they had 8 kilograms and 12 kilograms. I faffed around wondering, I make decisions pretty quickly, except for, when it came to this. Anyway, I settled, as you can imagine, for the larger one. And anyway, that was the first time I felt relief, that I could feel that there was a way out. Suddenly, my back started to feel an awful lot better. And I'm still doing an awful lot of lying on the ground. I was doing a lot of treadmill running. And then I discovered that I got vertigo, which I still have. I'd never had vertigo. I mean, I have a fear of heights, but that's not the same thing. So this is where your head is spinning. It was really unsettling. I was getting up from lying on the ground, and all of a sudden the whole thing was spinning. Actually, I can feel a bit of spinning now, but never mind. So the whole room was spinning. I closed my eyes, and everything was still spinning. And that was very disconcerting. Never had it before. It was even more disconcerting that night when it was happening in the bed, when I was moving, when I was rolling from my back. I had all sorts of pads under my back and towels rolled up, taped up to make a bolster, all sorts of stuff, to try and get some relief. And this is after essentially the course of taking the diazepam had ended. And so I got vertigo, and in the middle of the night when you roll over and you can feel you're spinning even though your eyes are closed, you open your eyes, I could tell I was getting, is it nystagmus, where your eyes are flicking backwards and forwards. It was, I still haven't got it. I still haven't got it totally under control. It's happening here and there. But I did read that it can happen a lot on treadmill running, and I've been doing a lot of treadmill running because I wanted to reduce the impact. This is when I got back. I think I did a less than 8K in May, and early June I kind of thought to myself, if I'm going to be in pain anyway, is it any worse to be in pain because I'm running? And of course I started running on the treadmill to lessen impact. I tried all the different shoes outside, and it was still, and I didn't have confidence, funny enough. I felt like I was going to fall over all the time. So I went on the treadmill. Probably not the best place to fall over, but at least there'd be people there and no cars and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, the vertigo, I think it'll pass. Who knows? There's a kind of technique. I'm going to the physio tonight, and you can twist your head around and do all sorts of stuff. And then the little crystals in your ear apparently can just fritter away and you'll be okay. So who knows? But it's, this week it was my first full week of running, where the doctor has said, no speed work. It's a great excuse. No speed work. The physio said no hills. And the marathon is slightly downhill. I had intended to try and qualify for Boston, but luckily enough, very luckily, very fortunate, all that's out of the way. So I'll have to come up with different goals. And the only goal at the moment is to finish. I had intended making these vlogs where I just thought, well, who wants to watch a guy who says he's hurt. So I'm fairly certain I'm going to complete the marathon, and I had intended, it's very beautiful, it's the Jack and Jill marathon in Seattle, or near Seattle, and I was really excited to do it, partly for the running, partly to see my old friend Colin, who we shared a 21st, and he lives near there and I haven't seen him in a long time. I suppose I just decided after having all this pain that I wasn't going to take it lying down, and motion is lotion. See you next week. Thanks for all the support.